Welcome, everyone. We'll be with you in just a moment. We're just going to give it another minute to let other people have an opportunity to jump on.
Hi, everyone, and thanks for joining us today. I'm Diane Sharp. I'm the Director of Admissions on the Philadelphia side of things in the Wharton MBA program for executives. And I'm here with May True, and May will be monitoring the portal where you can post some questions. And I'm being joined by my counterpart out in San Francisco.
Good morning, everyone from the West Coast. This is Barb Kraft, Director of Admissions for the San Francisco cohort. I'm joined by Quinn Tran, our Associate Director. We encourage you to continue to post your questions throughout the webinar. We want to get to all that we can. So as you know, Wharton's been around a long time. We were the first collegiate business school founded in 1881, so we have a long history. University of Pennsylvania, of course, founded in 1740. And our executive program we've been offering now for 46 years, so there's definitely a lot of awareness. We were one of the first executive programs out there. And as far as rankings are concerned, you know, being around and having a long history, you know, we often are at the top of the rankings consistently, but you know, understand rankings are based on a lot of different criteria, and what's really most important, while it's great to be consistently at the top of the polls, it is very important that you as an individual visit any program that you're considering and really do your own due diligence with that.
Absolutely. All right, and as you've noticed with Barb in San Francisco and me in Philadelphia, the Wharton MBA program for executives is bi-coastal, and we have been since 2001. We have a cohort on each coast, and about 120 starting in Philadelphia and about 115 in San Francisco. But there are a lot of opportunities for both cohorts to integrate. In fact, we consider them one class of over 230 students. The first week of the program, in fact, every May, at the end of May, all of the San Francisco students start here in Philadelphia on the Penn campus with the Philadelphia students. And then the pattern begins of pretty much every other Friday and Saturday. But then in the second year, or the third term of your first year, you'll go in the spring, the Philadelphia students join the San Francisco students in San Francisco for a core course. And then in the second year, everyone is taking electives. There is also a global business week requirement where everyone goes to one of 3 or 4 destinations in September together. And those 3 or 4 trips are a mix of East and West students. And one really nice thing is the electives, each campus is selecting their own slate of electives. Students can pretty much opt in to take a course, a term, or an entire year on the opposite campus. You'll apply to and stay in year 1 in one campus, but year 2, all bets are off, and there's a lot of back and forth between the 2 campuses. So it really enhances the perspectives and it reflects the industries and so forth of each coast who you'll meet and be in class with.
So there is only one Wharton MBA. Whether you decide to do that as a full-time student in Philadelphia or as an executive student either in San Francisco or Philadelphia, the degree is the same. We're one program and two locations. Again, if you decide to do full-time in Philadelphia, at this point, we do not offer our full-time program in San Francisco, but we do bring a cohort of full-time students out to San Francisco, our executive program being offered on both coasts. And in no way is our executive program MBA light. What you will find is it is the same number of credit hours, the same number of classroom hours, and the same faculty, whether you're doing the executive program in Philadelphia or in San Francisco. Actually, the faculty fly out to San Francisco to teach in the program. So when you get your Wharton MBA, the degree is the same, it's the same diploma, it's the same admissions requirements, and actually the same graduation requirements. The only difference is with the executive program is you continue to work full-time, and that is a requirement of the program. Our students work as they're juggling the MBA. And often I'm asked the question, well, how do they do that and still get the same MBA as the students who in the full-time program leave their jobs and attend the program full-time? Well, the difference is that with our executive students, they're coming to class every other weekend. For a 2-year period, they do have a few 1-week class sessions. In addition, they're going to class through the summer, whereas our full-time students, they attend class during the week, Monday through Thursday, and they have the summers off to do internships to help them secure a job. But of course, our executive students don't need to do that because they already have a job. So our executive students are going for 2 straight years and through that summer.
And as Barb said, you are earning the Wharton MBA, and we make sure academically that that's the case, but we also want to make sure that you're getting a true Wharton experience. So we have a residential requirement. All of our students are housed overnight in between class days in Philadelphia. It's either in the conference center on campus or the Inn at Penn nearby, a block away on the other side of our class buildings. And then in San Francisco, it's at Le Meridien, a nice walk along the Embarcadero part of it to the campus there. So it's really important for students to bond. It's not a commuting kind of program. Again, if you're going to get a Wharton education, you want to have Wharton experience. You want to learn from your classmates. You want to bond, and so you don't have to worry about commuting home or getting your own hotel overnight. The cost of the in-between stays is included in the tuition, and we're going to feed you as well and give you all the coffee you need to get you through your days here. So when you are looking at various programs, make sure you understand the breakdown of what the costs include. Again, because it's so important for us, for our students to connect with each other, work on teams into the wee hours, and then when they're done their studies, they go out and explore San Francisco and Philadelphia together and bond and socialize in other ways. We make that part and parcel of our program and of our tuition.
And that residential experience adds to the collaborative environment that you will find here at Wharton. Our students are incredibly diverse in industries, backgrounds, functions, and there's a lot of collaboration happening between them. You know, they're at a point in their career that they're experts in their industry. You know, they're not here to get an MBA because their parents told them to come back to school or that they need it for any further industry expertise. They're here because they want to be here. They're here because they want to learn. They want to continue to challenge themselves. They're comfortable with their own skin. And as such, you know, they end up really helping one another and supporting one another and working together to get through this program. They're not competing for jobs at the end of the day. So they tend to really share and support one another throughout the 2 years. It's not about who gets the best GPA or who gets the best job offer. So what you'll find as a result is that you'll learn as much from your classmates as you do from the faculty themselves. And we encourage you to come visit and see this for yourself. You know, when you come to the classroom, you're going to see that. Sit in with us for a day and see what it feels like to be a student. And I would encourage you to do that at any program that you're considering. Watch the classroom interaction. Look at the level of expertise of the students in the room and their knowledge level. Talk to the faculty. Really kind of get a sense of what it feels like to be an MBA student.
Absolutely, and you'll see, as Barb said, the diversity of our classes, and part of that is international diversity. You're not going to walk into classrooms filled with people from the Northeast or people from the Bay Area. We have a large representation of folks who have spent significant parts of their life outside of the United States. That, as well as faculty and the curriculum, also add to the global nature of Wharton, and there is one required global opportunity, and as I mentioned earlier, it's that Global Business Week. You're going to go in your 5th semester for a full week to one of either 3 or 4 locations. Some examples would be Argentina, South Africa, China. There's either Beijing and there was a Hong Kong trip that unfortunately we're going to put on hold. Then there's Finland, Spain. There's been a whole slew, and they vary depending on the professor availability. And those are nice. Again, they're about 60 to 70 students, East and West combined, and the professor takes you, and it's going to be on a topic, whether it might be marketing or unstable environments. So that's required, but there's also an opportunity to do global modular courses. These are elective courses that are also offered throughout the globe, and there are some domestic ones as well. These are taken in combined with full-time MBA students. So there might be 20 from the East, 20 from the West, and 40 full-time MBA students on some of these trips. And these have even further reach. They're throughout the Latin America, Asia, Europe, and the U.S., as I mentioned, a couple domestic ones. So that again enhances your global education, which I think some people feel you might have to kind of forego when you're doing an MBA program in an executive format. But in our case, it's absolutely the opposite. Everyone will come out of the program with at least one global experience.
We talked about our students continue to work full-time throughout the course of the 2 years that they're in the program, but we do have amazing career directors on either coast, Steve here on the West Coast and Dawn on the East Coast, that really work with our students, not necessarily to just find the next best job, but to teach them the skills that they need to manage their careers for the rest of their life. They'll really be working on developing their personal brand and identifying their career goals and how to accomplish those goals. And, in the executive program is great because in second year as well, in addition to all the career resources and aside from working with our students one-on-one and doing a lot of coaching, our career directors also have all of the, workshops and so forth that you think of that go along with, career management skills, everything from resume workshops to social media, increasing your social media presence, to interviewing you and videotaping while you're being interviewed and providing feedback, to bringing in alums from different industries to talk about what it's like to work in that industry. But in year 2, in addition to all that, we do have an executive coaching program where we bring in private executive coaches that have been vetted by our leadership department to work with our students on their leadership managerial skills. And in addition, there is the Wharton Leadership Ventures that our students can participate in also. So, but at the end of the day, it's really about the network, especially at this level in your career. And Wharton has the largest alumni network of any business school in the world with over 100,000 alumni worldwide. And this is just for the Wharton School in particular. This does not include your University of Pennsylvania alumni network in addition.
Great, and we are seeing more and more candidates who are interested in becoming entrepreneurs. And we have some who apply as existing entrepreneurs, and they've got their company to a certain level and they just want to grow it even further. So we're happy to offer support to anyone who has a non-corporate background as well. Career resources are often for that type of path, but we have people who throughout the program are contemplating becoming entrepreneurs, even though they have a corporate job, so they can get insights into what that means. So on both coasts, we offer some support services, entrepreneurial programming, whether it's on site or just staff members who are there to throw ideas or to consider ideas with you and offer you all the resources that the Wharton School has to offer. And as you can imagine, you'll see more of that going on in the San Francisco area. We do definitely have many entrepreneurs here in Philadelphia and would-be entrepreneurs, but in San Francisco, there's definitely a lot of programming for them. There is what we call the business plan competition. That's a Wharton School-wide competition, and the teams are formed with businesses in mind, and we have the advisors in place who can help the executive MBA student teams be better prepared for the competition. And again, it's Wharton-wide, and the final, I think it's a slate of about 8 to 10 business plans. They are voted on by people who observe their final pitches, and money is awarded to the top plans. And we have had executive MBA student teams who have won that business plan competition. So we want to make sure everyone is aware that, yeah, Wharton is great if you've got a traditional career and you're growing in corporate ways or small or large businesses, and it's great if you've already got a business underway that's doing quite well and you want to keep moving, or you're thinking about jumping out and doing your own thing later.
So the faculty is what puts Wharton on the map. They're definitely leaders in industry and business, and very often other business schools are using their research in their classrooms, and very often government and other businesses turn to our faculty for their knowledge and expertise. And aside from that, I would say they're wonderful personal people who really engage with our students, both inside and out of the classroom. And they are tapping into the expertise of the class as well. So if you'd like to get a good taste of Wharton faculty, there are a number of ways you can do that before you even enroll as a student. Coursera is one opportunity. There are a lot of courses out there on Coursera that are taught by faculty that actually teach in our program, as well as Wharton has a radio channel, that's Wharton Business Radio. It's channel 132 on Sirius XM. You'll hear a lot of the faculty have shows on that channel that teach in the Philadelphia and San Francisco program, as well as I encourage everyone always to subscribe to Knowledge at Wharton, which is our digital newsletter, and you'll find latest and greatest research from our faculty within that publication.
And finally, the global network, as Barb mentioned earlier, we have close to now 100,000 Wharton School alumni. That's the undergraduates, the full-time MBAs, the executive MBAs, and the doctoral students. And they are global, and that is enhanced by the University of Pennsylvania Alumni Network, which, as you can imagine, is umpteen times larger than that, and just as global. The Wharton School hosts global alumni forums. Every year, the dean will go to usually 3 different locations throughout the globe in order to engage with the alumni there. But we hope that students travel to their home countries, to these far-flung destinations to meet the alumni, and they're usually really amazing events with speakers and local businesses and government officials as well. So basically, you're going to get all of the benefits and resources that Barb and I have been chatting about throughout your 2 years here. But what you're getting is, you can't even put, you can't quantify it, is the network that you're going to be a part of from the first day of class, and the value that goes with that. All right, so hopefully we've covered a good good number of your questions about what we have to offer, but if you have other questions, we'd love to hear them. If you haven't already posted it, I'm going to turn it to May. Has anybody got any questions for us yet?
Yes, thank you so much, everyone, for sending your questions. We do have several questions around class profiles. So the question is, how does the class profile differ between the two locations?
Yeah, I'm happy to take that one, Diane. You know, we are one program and we are one admissions committee. So when we're looking at our candidates, we're looking to recruit, as we mentioned, and build as diverse a class as possible with different industries and functions and job titles and diversity and so forth. So that said, what we do find is that when it comes to our application pool, certainly being here in the Bay Area, we may get more applicants from tech-related companies, whereas, you know, perhaps Philly by their location may get more government, being close to the DC area, or finance being close to New York. But at the end of the day, it's really about recruiting a diverse class as possible and not just the industry, but actually the job function.
Great, thank you so much, Barb. We also have several questions around work experience. Are there basic qualifications for years of full-time work experience, and whether an applicant needs to be in certain managerial roles?
Right, yeah, the profile that we mentioned, and that is one of the many advantages of our program, is that we have people who already have had some management. We don't want to get too far down the hole of, you know, admissions questions. What we're going to leave you with is a slide that will encourage you to schedule a chat so we can discuss with you your specific profile and if it fits into what we're looking for. So, but yes, because we're the executive MBA, if you look at our profile compared to our full-time counterpart, there's definitely going to be what we call more meat on the bones, and that includes managerial. We don't want people to be concerned that they don't have the word manager in their title. You know, management comes in a lot of different forms, you know, with projects and so forth. So, but yeah, you're going to be among already high achieving individuals who know more than just how to crank spreadsheets. They know how to get work done through others.
Thank you so much. We also have a couple questions around our test requirement. Do you need an executive MBA or a GMAT or a GRE even though you're a PhD degree holder?
Yes, absolutely. We do not waive our standardized test requirements for any candidate. We're all about equality here at the Wharton School, so everyone will take a standardized test, whether that be GMAT, GRE, executive assessment. Our applicants with 10 or more years post-baccalaureate full-time work experience can take the executive assessment. And we have an upcoming webinar specifically on executive testing. So I encourage you to watch our events page on our website. We have a lot of different events coming up, both in-person events as well as webinar, to get into more specifics.
Great, thank you so much. We also have a question around the fellows candidate versus the traditional candidate. We have a lot of questions around that. So can you talk a little bit about what a fellows candidate is?
Sure, I can take that. It's really, I mean, there's an 8-year full-time professional work experience threshold, but we know it can kind of be, you know, not cut and dry, right? Some people have done graduate degrees already while working or not. So that's another reason you should schedule a chat. So basically, we want to make sure that you're someone who, even if you don't have more than 8 years, if you're at that younger experience level, earlier experience level, that you're right for our program. Otherwise, we'll direct you to the full-time program. We want to make sure you fit here. So you're going to get a Wharton MBA, but the two programs do have differences as far as career goals and such. So again, please schedule a chat. because if we start talking about admissions questions here, that's on a different topic that we've addressed and will be addressing in the future. The chat really is the best place to do that because it's one-on-one, and we'll ask you to share your resume with us so we can really dig down and make sure, are you a fellows or you're not? Do you have enough management? Do you not?
Yeah, and I would just add to that fellow's comment that, as Diane mentioned, we have an 8-year threshold. If someone falls below that 8-year threshold, then they would be considered a fellows candidate, in which case we like to see them sponsored by their company for 50% or more. Anything else out there, May?
Yeah, one more. It's around the residential component. So if you already live in Philadelphia or San Francisco and you're super close to campus, are there any exceptions to the residency requirement?
There are not. Regardless, we do like you to, we will have you stay at the hotel. We're not breaking that out of tuition. I think Diane mentioned that earlier, that it is really an important factor that this is a residential program. It's an immersive experience. We want you to be, fairly selfish with this time. We don't want people going home at the end of the day and getting pulled into laundry or other activities. Because we get students from all over the country and sometimes even from outside of the country. We don't want those other students to be left alone. And this is the time, the residential piece is so important because that is the time where you're going to build that network and build those friendships. It's these hours outside of class. Sometimes too, I will tell you that you'll go into the evening with study groups and so forth. So you will be really happy at the end of the day that you have that hotel room.
Great. So Barb and Quen and May and I are going to jump off now, but we're going to stay online to post a few more answers to some of your questions. But if we don't get to them, what we're going to do is email you your answers. So if you have questions regarding the fit of the program as far as what we offer here, we'd love to have you stay on for a few more minutes, and rest assured that you'll get an answer via email if you don't get one live today. Since a lot of you do have admissions related questions, I would really like to encourage you to look at the events page of our website. Barb and I are on the road and going throughout the United States to host information receptions, and we really get deep into what our requirements are, the qualifications needed, the application process, and you'll meet current students and alumni at those. So Barb, I know you're heading out to a few places in the next few weeks.
Yes, I'll be in Scottsdale. I will be in Salt Lake City. I will be in Honolulu. I will be in Palo Alto. So come out and see us. As Diane mentioned, we know this is a big decision and we're here to support you through that. As a reminder, we just admit one class each year that starts the end of May, and our application deadlines are early December and early February. So there's still time to apply for the May class. And there's still time to attend an event and to come and visit us and to sit in on a class and again, engage with us, schedule that chat if you have specific questions. We're here to help you through the process.
Great. Yeah, thanks for joining us today. We hope we see you scheduling a chat or at one of our upcoming events.
Thanks, everyone. Best of luck.